Yeah, so who to target when we're trying to go, get tax planning clients using social media and using the internet. So this is a really important video topic for my heart because a lot of people want to get tax planning clients, but there's a lot of like myths that are out there that cause most people to psych themselves out and not really go after the right size client when they're starting out. Now, the cool thing about tax planning is that the bar of entry as far as the dollar amount that people need to be making in order to utilize your service is not that high. So for me, what I like focusing on is like the taxable income someone has. Okay. Now the reason why is because like if you think that you need to have like these super ultra wealthy individuals that are making like 3 million, 4 million, $5 million per year, you're gonna cut out like 90% of the business market. Because if you think about it, most businesses go out of business, and only really about 10 to 20% of businesses make over $1 million in a single year. But what about all the different solopreneurs out there? What about the people that maybe have a W-2 but also have like real estate or rental income? What about people who have a W-2 income but also have a side hustle, right? Those are three buckets of people that expand our total addressable market when it comes to offering tax planning services. So if you think it to like have these like giant construction magnets, that's really going to kind of like cause you to be like, oh, I can't, there's only this many, or this person making a huge amount of money, they already have an account, they already have someone in place, like why would they want to work with me? We'll also cover that, like how to really stand out from like other people that might already have successful tax planning businesses, and how you can kind of like craft your own niche and really build your way into it. Also, if you want some help growing your tax planning business, go ahead and click the link inside the description either above or below the video to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program. Okay? So everything we cover inside these videos are something that we cover inside of our mentorship program, but I customize it for you, right? So you might be saying, well, Bryce, you have all these YouTube videos and, maybe you have like some stuff, but it's like, why would I do mentorship program? Why would I like invest in myself? It's because information alone is good, right? And this is we give a lot of information, but to customize it for yourself, your situation, and who you are as a person, that's the thing that makes this stuff challenging. So you take the videos as like a preview, try and implement some of the stuff in the videos, and then go and get help as soon as you can. Okay, so let's attack this thing. So I have my notes over here. It's me looking back and forth today. So one myth is that you need super large business owners. I am focused minimum on someone who has taxable income of $200,000. Okay? This means like whether the business is doing $10 million a year, whether the business is doing $201,000. All I care about is the taxable income, right? Because my tax planning fees are going to be in a lot of cases based on how much I'm going to be saving someone, right? There's always a fair value exchange. The more that someone makes, the more they understand what a fair value exchange is. Let's say, for example, if someone pays $1, they should get $5 to $10 worth of value. If people don't have money, they're expecting to put $1 in and get $100 of value, right? That's why there's a lot of like get rich quick kind of thinking. But most people, the more sophisticated they are when it comes to income, investing, and money, they're looking for a $1 in, at least a $5 to $10 back. The closer you get to $10 on average, or even more, the more of a no-brainer deal it's going to be, and they're going to automatically want to work with you, right? So if we go after people that are doing at least $200,000 in taxable income, right, then we can charge between $3,000 or more. On average, probably about $4,000 for that particular case, but it just kind of depends on that. So, number one, how do we go and find them? You can either find them or you can draw them out. Both ways are totally plausible. I've done both. I still do both to this day. Okay? Now, keep in mind, you don't have to do this all manually. It's not like you have to like go and type all this stuff out. You can have automation tools, you can have virtual assistants, you can have advertising. The things I use to go and employ nowadays to go and find people or to get them to come to me are, number one, I have virtual assistants. They will actually go and send messages on my behalf. Number two, I have advertisements that actually go and like call out the right people, right? And then they come and like maybe they'll follow me on social media, they'll reach out to me, they'll join my group or whatever, right? Next thing is you can use content, right? So like you can go out and find them. Now, I like going out and finding when I'm like just starting out, because you can really make it a mathematical statistics equation. Let's say, for example, if you know who are the right people you're targeting, for every 50 to 100 people that accept a friend request or follow your profile, you should get one tax plan out of that, right? On social media, there's a 1% rule. So what that means, let's say that you get 100 people to accept your friend request or a friend request you, right? You have 100 new friends on social media that are all qualified. You're going to get one tax plan for anywhere between $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, right? So I was talking to one of the newer students in my program. She just joined the mentorship program. I think she joined on, today's Saturday. She joined on Thursday. We did an onboarding call last night. And when I told her, like, dude, all you have to do is just learn how to get in multiples of 100 people to know you exist, then you can really craft your income. She was like, oh, wow. I didn't think about it like that. Now, here's a cool thing, too. If you can get some of your tax plans from year 1 to keep repeating from year 2, year 3, year 4, you don't even need quite as many people. I'm just going to assume, like, worst case scenario, you're only doing, like, one-off tax plans, like, one time, like, they hate you forever, they never come back. That's very unlikely, right? So the numbers I'm giving you are going to be a little bit over what you actually need. So let's say, for example, if you know that for every 100 people that are going to come and follow you or friend request you, one of them's going to buy. And let's just say your price on average is going to be, what is that? Your price on average is going to be, we'll just shoot low and we'll say like $3,000 for a tax plan. I'm just going to give you worst case scenario just to kind of give you some good numbers here, okay? Don't hate me. If you're selling tax plans for more, it's going to take you a lot less people. So I'm just going to show you how you can think in terms of numbers and social media equations so that you can start building a business for yourself and really having good expectations. If I had known this when I was first getting started, I would have not taken as long to get to 6 figures in my businesses, right? But it's like once I knew this, okay, hitting 6 figures every single year is not a problem. You can even hit 7 figures if you want. For me, I prefer to keep things lean, small, and like I really I like the 6 figures zone. I just really like life at this stage. So let's kind of go. But again, you don't have to be there. You can go to 7 figures. You can maybe even go to 8 figures if you really want to, okay? So I'm not going to put a limit on you if you're watching this video. Cool, so let's say it's about 3,000 or you need about $3,000 per. So in order to do it, you're going to have to sell about 33 tax plans, right? So, right, to make let's say $100,000, which is keep it very, very round. So 100K divided by $3,000 per tax plan on average is going to be 33 tax plans. It's going to be like 33.333. I'm going to round down to 33 tax plans. Okay, so that means if you know that for every 100 people that know you exist, follow you, watch your YouTube channel, etc., you're going to sell one tax plan, then you just multiply, you need about 3,300 people is what you're going to need. That's all you need, just 3,300 people inside your audience. Now, that might sound like a lot if you're just getting started, but if you really put it in perspective, that's just 10 people per day that add you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. That's just 10 people, right? So it's not that hard. Now the place that it can be hard is if you are friend requesting or getting people to friend request you that don't really meet those target criteria. That's the real challenge, right? That's the real discouraging factor, and knowing like how far away are we from that. So what you can do is before you accept a friend request or before you actually you meet someone, you can get qualifiers on your social media presence. So what you can do is you can put qualifiers on your, let's say you're using a Facebook business profile, right? So you can use a Facebook business page or a Facebook business profile. I prefer to use personal profiles that I use specifically for business. So I'll have my personal profile with all my friends and family and etc. Then I have a business profile on Facebook. And that's strictly for people that are going to buy my stuff, right? So on the business profile, right, I'm going to be going and posting like basically on the profile telling people who is the target business owner I like to go after. If you're making at least $200,000 per year in taxable income, then blah, 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 right? And that's going to call out the right people, because if they're not doing that, they're not going to friend request you. It just doesn't make sense for them, right? There's a reason why they're sending you a friend request. There's a reason why they're joining your audience, because you're going to provide relevant information that can be helpful for them. Okay, so what that means is that's one qualifier. Another qualifier you can do is on the content you post from wherever you're going and getting them. If you're getting them from like a Facebook group, you can post inside those Facebook groups to basically ask questions around what was it like when you made your first $200,000 a year? What was it like when you made your first $1,000,000 per year? Do you have any advice for a new business owner that's growing their business and is just now used to making more money? Right, you're asking questions inside of the group that will get the right people to raise their hand, and when they raise their hand, then you can friend request them. An alternative way you can do that is by, let's say you go into a really good group on Facebook where it's like there are people inside the group that are talking about very, very, very high level conversations. Okay, well, my thing just died, so my notes are done. Right? High level people and high level individuals, right? Where they're talking about, hey, okay, so this is how you make an extra $1,000,000 per year. Okay, so hey, here's this extreme marketing tactic for if you're already making, $300,000 a month, this can help you go get an extra 100,000. Or if they talk about like, where should I be putting my money once I've like, cracked this code, or once I hit this XYZ milestone in my business, like it's coming up the next month, like what should I do? Like those kind of groups like that, we can see high level conversations with business owners. That is generally going to be a place where you can go and find people, because birds of a feather oftentimes flock together, right? So in a lot of cases, if you find one, and if you find a few that are actually going, you can keep friend requesting down that same list of people or down that same question post to get more people who are just like that to then come and reach out to you. It's very, 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 very misunderstood skill set that not a lot of people have. Now, again, if we're working together, I can give you what questions to ask. I can tell you what groups to go into. We can look at the groups together and be like, hey, this group is not it. Like this is not going to give you the results you're thinking it is, okay? Go here instead, let's go here instead, let's go here instead, right? I'm going to be looking at your situation and saying like what we should be doing. So I'll give you an example. So one of our students named JT, so when he was getting started, he was having a lot of trouble because the groups he were going in on Facebook were very beginner groups. Like he would join a group like nonprofits for newbies. It's like, well, hey, that's probably a group not for people that like, are making $200K a year if they're like a newbie in a nonprofit, right? So that group is not a good group. We started going into different kinds of groups for different types of business owners, and we started saying, okay, so this person's a very high level person. You can tell by their LinkedIn, you can tell by their following, you can tell by everything. This is a very high level business owner, and you can see based on like the past questions, the past comments they've been answering from people inside that group that this group is generally going to be the right kind of conversation that we need to have in order to have someone that actually can afford to pay for our services, right? So we're going deep inside of there. But again, it all starts from learning how to do that and having that trained eye to be able to say, okay, so this is what we're looking for, this is where we can go. Because if you really get good, you only need like 2 groups maybe to get good at this thing, right? If you're just doing like the friend request methodology where it's like you find a group of really good business owners, you identify who the business owners are, and you friend request them, you only need 2 groups. You don't need that much. Like that is the thing that I like taking and like breaking myths inside of like my mentorship programs. Like you don't need that many people. You don't need that many traffic sources. When I say a traffic source, that's like if you're doing ads, Facebook's a traffic source. A Facebook group's a traffic source. LinkedIn's a traffic source. Just a basic place where you can go and get in front of people. That's a traffic source. You don't need quite that many. I used to think that I had to be on like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit. Like I was like, man, I have to get on all these different platforms. I have to like post so much. I have to like stay in front of an audience. I have to interact with followers. And it was just like, no, dude, you don't have to do any of that. If you understand how to like put out good content, if you understand how to really get in front of the right people, if you understand how to build a system that's in place, like you would be so surprised if you saw how simple it is to make 6 figures a year, like, and how automated it is for me to go and do that. Like I even created this if you're watching this channel, like this is going to be like, it's going to start out small. Like right now, if you're watching this thing, like we might only have like, I think 5 subscribers. I just started this channel like literally like a month ago, right? But you're going to probably watch over time, like if we do kind of put in the time, put in the focus to grow this tax planning channel, it might be 100 people, it might be 200 people, it might be 1,000 people, it might be 3,000 people. And if we can get to that, 1,000 people mark, that's going to be an additional 6 figures a year, right? Not to like, count pockets or brag or anything like that, but you don't need that many people if the stuff you're putting out is very, very good and very, very like effective for most people, right? So That's number one, okay? So let's assume that you're going to be going and you're going to be going after them. Now, what is an alternative path you can do? Let's say you don't like Facebook, okay? There was an amount of time where I didn't like Facebook. You can also utilize LinkedIn. So how I would be thinking about LinkedIn is actually making a LinkedIn search using a program called Sales Navigator. So Sales Navigator is like the premium version of LinkedIn that allows you to use LinkedIn more of like a database than just a social media platform. I think I'm going to make more videos inside of this channel that will like break down me using Sales Navigator to find good tax planning leads. But for today, I'm basically going to just kind of walk you through how I think about that. Okay, so number one, years of experience. There's gonna be a tab or a filter inside that can talk about years of experience, which if you have any understanding of like different fields or different types of industries, you can know approximately after 10 years inside the field, if the person has done XYZ milestones, they should be making XYZ amount of income. Okay, that's one way that you can think about it. Another way is you can actually look at their their position in corporate America. So they could be making, XYZ income. So I'm generally looking for above 100,000, but then the caveat to that is I'm looking to see if they have side hustle income. Because oftentimes people actually put on like their LinkedIn profile if they have like a side hustle, like, oh hey, I have like I sell soap. Hey, I'm not laughing at people who sell soap, but that's just a very specific example. I had a student in our mentorship program who like was talking to this person, and she goes, all she did was sell soap, man. She sold like 1 bar of soap in the last like 3 years. I was like, oh, yeah. Maybe let's not go after that person right now. Maybe in the future when they start selling more soap, but like as of right now, that's not going to really cut it. They're not going to make 200,000 a year, right? So you can see people like maybe they say like I'm a real estate investor as well, right? Invest in stocks or crypto or things like that, and you can kind of start seeing like the income that it's doing. Okay, and then that can make it very easy because then they're gonna have like a more complex tax situation than if they were just a business owner, if they're just a W-2, right? When they start mixing, or if they have like multiple small businesses, right? That's another thing that's really important as well. But you can see that using LinkedIn, using the search filter. Another thing that you can do is you can start seeing how many years in business this person's been in, right? So there's a couple different things you can do with that. So I like looking at years in current business. The reason why is because most businesses, if they're over a certain age, they're going to be over a certain revenue and a certain dollar amount. If you mix in the age of the business plus the industry the business is in, you're going to also be able to kind of understand approximately how much money they're making. So let me put, for example, if there's actually there's a third one as well, which is revenue per head. So if you know that for, let's say, for example, HVAC, that for every employee they have, it should equal about 400K. If they have 5 employees, they're probably making about $2 million per year. And then if you can also tell within like the industry, like what is the average profit margin for an HVAC company that's over XYZ years old, it's probably going to tell you, okay, so the profit margin, let's assume that they're not, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Let's just say like it's gonna go straight to their bottom line, right? So 400. I'm not gonna assume that they're like paying themselves throughout the year as well. I'm just stay with the math example. I know it might not be like fully realistic of life because they're gonna be paying themselves within that $2 million in addition to the net profit. Maybe they don't have a C corp. Maybe everything is like flowing through. I know you're a tax person. I know. To use the example. So we're gonna assume, what is that? $2 million. Times we'll just say like a 20% net profit. Okay, so that means this person is making 400K in addition to whatever they pay themselves out throughout the year. Okay, so now this person, we can assume they're going to be making this much money, and we know they have this many years in business, right? So if they're making 400K and they're under 2 or 3 or 4 years in business, we can assume that they're going to be a good target for tax planning services. They might have had a CPA when they're smaller, but especially like the faster a company's growing, the easier it is to kind of like help them understand that maybe they outgrew their last person, or they might have a CPA, but that CPA does not offer tax planning services. There's a lot of CPA firms, a lot of accounting firms that don't offer tax planning. They only want to do the tax prep work at the end of the year. So there's a tremendous area for you to be able to come inside there and just really have that person want to work with you as well, right? So it just all works out very, very well. Yeah, and that's how I've been thinking about that. Now, what to do, and how long is this video? This video is about 18 minutes. So we'll end this video right here. This just basically talks about how to think about who are the right people. Now, I'm going to make another video pretty soon. It's going to talk about like how to niche down. So we're going to go even more granular and like when to niche down, how to niche down, and like who to go after when you're doing it, okay? But if you want some help in the meantime, if you don't want to watch all these videos and try and like figure this stuff out for yourself, if you just want the straightest, most complete path to growing your tax planning, revenue and tax planning business, go ahead and click the link inside the description either above or below the video to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy and see you in the next one.